sit down. Everyone open your English textbooks. And today I am going to explain the lesson, The Black Aeroplane. And the author of this lesson is Frederick Forsyth. Can we start the lesson? Yes, ma'am. Okay. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone, high up above the sleeping countryside. Here, me refers to the author, and here the author is saying this moon was coming up in the east, and he was standing behind that, and the stars were shining in the sky. That is, he's flying in his old Dakota aeroplane. Then he's sharing his experience with us. He's telling that he is happy to be alone in that sky, and he was at the countryside. Countryside means villages. Okay. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. He is flying his old Dakota aeroplane over France to England. He is going to England to have English breakfast along with his family. When he looked at his watch, the time was 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Then our author called to Paris control, and he thought to look down, and he looked down from the narrower position of the aeroplane, and he looked out of the aeroplane. He saw a city full of lights, and that is the Paris city. So he called to Paris control and said that Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. He told this in that radio. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088 over. The voice immediately came from the radio as the answer to his question. It said that to turn 12 degrees west. Okay. I checked the map in the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards the England. I will be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. When he checked his map and the compass, and he turned his old Dakota 12 degrees west, and then he switched on his last fuel tank. Then he is wishing to have his English breakfast, and it was an easy flight for him. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I know I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. Here, after passing the Paris, he left the Paris, and the Paris is behind 150 kilometers. He saw very large storm clouds in front of him. He compared these storm clouds with big mountains. He has a lost fuel tank in his aeroplane, so he couldn't even jump over the clouds or even turn around it and cross it. And I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I'll take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Then he thought to go back to Paris, but he wanted to eat the English breakfast along with his family, so he decided to take risk, and he flew his old Dakota over the storms, into the storms. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. When he entered the clouds, everything is black inside, and he couldn't able to see anything there. And the old aeroplane, when it entered into the storm, it suddenly jumped and twisted. It means it turned up and down or moved round. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. When he looked at the compass, he couldn't believe his eyes because the needle in the compass was just moving round and round. And the compass was dead. It is not working. I tried the radio, Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in a storm. He tried radio and he thought to call to Paris control and he asked. Then there is no answer from Paris control. No radio near him, no compass and nothing. He couldn't able to see where he was and he is completely lost in the storm. Then in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turn it towards me. In the black clouds, it is impossible to see one more person. But he saw another flight flying next to him, and there was a pilot inside the flight, and he could able to see his face as he's turning towards him and looking at him. So he could able to see the pilot in the black aeroplane. And I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved, "Follow me." He was saying, "Follow me." He knows that I am lost. I thought he's trying to help me. The pilot in the black aeroplane just waving his hand and he said to follow him. Okay, then our pilot followed him like an obedient child. Then he saw a runway and he just landed his aeroplane on the runway. He looked back for the friend who helped him, but he couldn't able to see anyone there. Then he goes to Paris control room and there was a woman. He will ask the woman about the person who helped him to overcome the situation. And the woman said that no other aeroplane is flying at that time. Then the last there was a suspense here, that who is the pilot that helped our author. It may be an supernatural power or his faith. What do you think?